All right, all right, all right, all right. I think we got it. I think we here. Can everybody hear me? Or Chicky, can you hear me? Here go the link, Chicky. Hit it and see if you can. If you hit that link, I think you should be able to come up and I should be able to see you and add you to the chat. Add you to the panel. And what's up, Uncle L? How you doing? I see you, everybody. Salute, Mike. Chicky, if you hit the link and see if you can come up, and then I'm gonna go and get the actual video that we're gonna be discussing in the topic. Matter of fact, while you trying to I'm trying to wait and see if you can hit the link. You see it right there? I'm gonna pin it. Wait a minute, that's the wrong one. Okay. You got to connect your mic and your cam there, Kilo. It says they will need to connect their mic and cam. Let me see avatar, Kilo, or something, bro. Chicky, do you know how to hit that link? In the meantime, I'm getting ready to go grab this video. See if I can pull this shit up. Hey, Hurricane. I don't know why they got my man shit looking like that. Files, clips, and un momento, por favor. Okay. That ain't alphabetical order. I'm going to get this. I got to get this. So sort by date. Just bear with me, fam, because this is important. We got to talk about this. We got to situate this because at the end of the day, I think it's a lot of disingenuous things going on. People basically clout chasing and doing anything for views and likes. I'm not saying that's what this particular person was doing. However, it would appear that way if you can't make ends meet, you know? Oh, what the fuck? I think YouTube is fucking with me. I'm trying to get this video. Give me 1 second, family. Let me see. I still don't see you, Chicky. Salute, Katana. Appreciate it. Everybody that's sliding through, give me 1 second. I'm trying to come up with this video. Hey, Kilo. Hurricane Kilo, show that picture, bro. Let me pull this fucking file. Oh, my goodness. Aaron, Now, if I didn't want this shit, it'd be popping right up in my face. I'm gonna have to start doing this shit on the landline. Okay, we getting somewhere now. Where is it at? The terrible condition. This game. Message church. The terrible condition. We almost there. Give me 1 second. Be patient, because I got to get this video to make everything relevant. And like I said, if I didn't want this video, it'll be popping up everywhere. But now, since I want to zero in on it, this laptop giving me the business. Hey, wait, almost. Fuck. Come on, in the Ferro X boiler on fire. Here we go. I got it. I found it. Sorry about that. We here. Here comes the video. And I'm still waiting on you, Chicky.
Brothers and sisters, we thank you so much for proving once again that you are intelligent people, that you are free-thinking people, that you are independent people, and that you are people. Yes, sir. You see,
Oh, you see me now.
And on Thursday, March 26th, somebody gave me an article and said, what you think about your leader? They talked about the fact that this multicultural group, I see Miss Judy Jones in the audience. Thank you so much for buying. Sister bought a whole lot of tickets. I can't tell you how many. But the paper said, how you feel about your leader? Because they formed this group of multicultural people to fight Minister Farrakhan's coming to MSU. And I couldn't believe it. I felt great pain because they talked about the fact that my leader was an evil person and a mean person because other people didn't like him. But then I showed them the front page and it said, bloodiest week ever. 6 black babies died in Detroit. But somebody's going to come to me and say, we need to have unity, so repudiate your leader. The only black man in America, the only man in America that is stopping violence. Newsweek is writing in the newspaper, thousands of gang members are taking off the colors and putting on bow ties. But there's something wrong with that man.
I'm
Y'all
from
ain't
the
ready yet,
University
though.
of Michigan. I just wanted to see I had never heard him speak. I just wanted to see what he's talking about because I know that all of his speeches are controversial. So I just wanted to see what he had to say on things. Maybe I could be enlightened about some of the problems within my own community, the black community. So that's to be enlightened.
People said, how could he come on Passover? Well, for 400 years, nobody said, give the slave a holiday.
Yes, I know that he's a very articulate individual, and I appreciate anything that he can do to enlighten the black people in terms of their plight amongst the Caucasian Americans here in the United States.
God made sun, rain, snow, hail, all those things for everybody, didn't he? I don't remember God saying, everybody get a day but black folks. You see, today is our day. We read in the scriptures Passover is a story about a people who were in hell, ruled by a wicked people. And God sent a punishment on those people. But some people got anointed, didn't they? And the punishment passed over. We have brought a lamb to you today, but not like them lambs of old, beloved. Oh, brother's all right. Brother's all right. He's just excited when the...
I love him. I love it.
I'm very happy. I'm fired up. Can't wait to see. One of my friends is a Muslim minister, so I'm ready to hear him.
Where a lamb had to come to us, but not like those lambs of old, because see, you're not going to hurt this lamb. This lamb is going to come to you with a word and anoint you, and if you let that word in, when death and destruction and self-hate and self-degradation and abuse comes along, guess what? It's going to pass over. That's why we brought him. This is our Passover. If somebody else wants to share it, fine. But it's our Passover. I'm thankful to see all of the Semites present, because you know Semites are black people.
Well, brothers, we look forward to hear him. We heard him the last time. We thought his message is very decent, and we look forward to hear him.
Okay, here we go. This part is significant because he said, as black people, we are all Semites, which is the reason and the very reason why Kyrie said that he can't be anti himself. How you doing, Ashkiro Maski? I see you. Thank you. If you are, in fact, part of a particular creed or race of people, and you say anti, that means you're basically against your very nature and existence. So that's what Kyrie was trying to explain to the people, like, look, y'all got this twisted. But the whole thing is a projected type of point of view coming from a person that's really not who they're claiming to be. So pay attention real close now. And I'm not saying anything about one group or the other. I'm just dealing with facts, and I'm dealing with things that's tangible that we can put our hands on, read about, what have you. But the thing is, we can't take our ideas from other people. We got it. And incidentally, that's one of the main things that I've always heard the minister say. He'll tell you, I've seen him countless amounts of time tell people, look, don't clap, listen. And go look up and try to discover and investigate what I'm saying. Don't just take it on face value. He says that way too many times for a person to say something like, I don't agree with everything he says, because the part that you don't agree with, then that's the issue. And that's what we have to deal with now, to either see why you don't disagree. I mean, why you disagree with it, or are you just ignorant to those facts? So let's continue.
Again, we just feel good about it, brother. We feel really good about it. And he has a lot of solutions to the problems that we as African Americans and Christians are going through.
And I would like to say for the record that the Nation of Islam Security has a far, far, far better record than the FBI,
Let everybody call in for
the CIA, and what's them cats? The Secret Service. Their service so secret they forgot to provide it the other day, didn't they? They're standing up. You get it, Joe. You get it. You know, Ronald Reagan was getting ready to throw a couple overhand rights, wasn't he? You ain't gonna have none of that here.
Well, I've driven over from Detroit to hear him, so I'm pleased to be here.
This is your first time?
First time I've heard him, yes.
Something controversial that brought you out? Or?
Well, I've been interested in him for some time, since he worked with Malcolm X, and this is my first chance to hear him talk, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I feel the brother gonna come and bring a message like he always bring all over the world. A powerful and profound message that is a healing device.
Because you know, when you read your Bible, listen, cats, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, if you were to go through Europe today, you would see pictures of this black woman. And they say in their liturgy, and this is not what I made up, but what they say over there in Poland and Romania and Germany, that this black woman, painted by St. Luke, is the mother of Jesus. If a black woman could give birth to a Jesus one time, what more could all of you do together?
Minister Farrakhan, he's a great leader. We need more like him. He's a beautiful person for all people of color, you know.
He's such an inspiration in these days and times, and me and my whole family are here, and we just we just thank Allah every minute for him.
I think it's fantastic. I think more people should come and see him. I don't see a whole lot of people right now. I'm hoping more show up.
Well, I'm glad that he's here. I'm very excited that he's here, and hopefully he will enlighten a lot of black people to what's going on in the world. I think we've been asleep too long and we need to wake up. So I hope that everybody will enjoy being here as well.
My bad, y'all. I was on mute the whole time, huh? I'm so sorry. What I was saying was the reason I stopped it is because I hear this a lot, and I got it situated because the Nation of Islam is not your traditional Islamic sect, if you will, because this is why you hear people talking about quote unquote Orthodox Islam versus the NOI. And the Eastern Islamic approach is totally different from the application of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's approach, because it was science. It was something that had to be done for people that were so deeply entrenched in an ideology that the only thing that would take them out of that would be shock value. Now, we'll get into that later. However, the Nation of Islam does not particularly adhere to Orthodox Islam, because the way it's given is we are supposed to be the ones that come and teach the ones in the East how to properly look at this. And that's why they say revealing, I thank you, your Father, for keeping this from the wise and prudent man and revealing it on the babes. Well, the same is such when you deal with the Islamic approach versus the NOI, because there was something that had to be done, but there was an Islamic scholar that came over here to introduce this teaching to us way back in the 30s and 20s. And that's later on down the line. But that's why they say Allah. And Sis had a live a few weeks back, and he was dealing with etymology and all of the rest of it. And that was real significant, because when you break all of this down in terms of religion, in terms of knowledge and disciplines, just my personal opinion, I think we're all lost via communication, meaning interpretation and understanding and comprehension, meaning like if you speak Spanish, and I only speak so much Spanish, but not fluently, there's going to be a lot lost in the translation. So when somebody gives you a situation and they tell you about a subject matter, you won't fully understand it unless you fully understand that language, that person's culture, and that person's mind state. So with that said, I'm gonna let this run a little bit, because after Brother Rasul, I'm gonna let y'all hear Brother Rasul and his dissertation, because this is very, very significant. But the minister went in depth in here and was telling you how people will agree with certain things that you say, but they won't agree with all of it. But the point is, if it's true, it's true. You can disagree all you want. To me, that's being stubborn. But let's continue. I see you, Selena. Peace, salute. How you doing? This is positive today, Selena. I'm sorry.
Thank God for Minister Farrakhan. Thank God for Minister Farrakhan. And all the young black men around him.
I wish there was more of them here. I wish they all come out.
Right.
We from Flint, of course.
We want you to give it up for our brother, Rasul Hakeem Muhammad.
Listen to this brother real good. He goes in deep, and he's going to tell you the whole of the situation if you can understand it.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. And I bear witness that Muhammad is the messenger of Allah. I greet you in the nation's greetings in the Arabic language that means peace. Be unto you of Assalamu alaikum. I think somebody told other than the truth.
Facts.
I think somebody said that because this was Easter, that you would be at home and would miss the opportunity to hear Minister Farrakhan speak. I think somebody said that you shouldn't be here at all because Minister Farrakhan is an anti-Semite.
Salute, Letitia.
Somebody blatantly lied. And here you are, as you were 2 years ago, strong like family, and acting like mature people. That nobody will dictate to you who you should listen to.
Facts.
In your heart, something moved you to be here, and
Salute,
that's why
RJ.
you're here. Some of you, according
me.
to a little news clipping I just saw, somebody said they
You
want to
sure
hear,
you
they
want
want
to
to find out what the whole big
I'm going to do
fuss is
that for
about
you.
Farrakhan.
But this, I'm telling you,
Let
we
me
might
say
be
this
too positive for you right now, Ronald.
It is true, and I believe
This ain't no troll
that the
situation.
truth shall set us free.
But
As
there's
a matter
the
of
thing,
fact,
sir.
if I may
State
put
your
it in
case.
other words, it is knowledge of the truth that will set us free. But never in the annals of history as it relates to the divine men of God, messengers and prophets, God never revealed all of the truth to all the people at once. Oh, well, something had to fall. No, he revealed it, inspired and resurrected a divine man In every instance in history, he raised one for the people. I'm telling you today, regardless of your religious persuasion, a black man has been divinely raised, inspired, prepared, fashioned, and molded, particularly for now. And
I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Thanks, Sam Hoggett. I see you, but Ronald don't want these problems. I promise you. See, he won't hit this link. This is way too positive for him. Ronald on a troll situation. I appreciate him coming through. But right now, what we doing goes against the grain of his brain and what he's apt to. So I doubt really seriously if Ronald's going to hit this. And if he does, it's going to be the troll. It ain't going to be to adhere to what we talking about. But it's all good. I appreciate him sliding through, and I appreciate the love. Brother Rasul Muhammad.
especially for you. All praise is due to Allah. Since when have the people that are keeping you as a, check this out, a permanent underclass, since when do they become overly protective of what comes into your ear? Huh? When you are on the ground and you don't have anything, nobody comes to your aid, but as long as somebody's telling you what you can do to better and improve your life, all of these other little segments come up and got something to say. Here it goes again. Huh? To be honest with you, I'm getting real tired of it. I'm getting real tired of it, because it's not a Muslim thing. Here he is, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan.
Okay, right quick, right fast. Before the minister come up, hey Ron, hit the link, bro. It's there. No, I'm gonna entertain you for a couple of minutes, and then we're gonna get back to business. But I see that. But look, so I can't troll you. Hey Ron, you feel one kind of way? You want to troll everybody, but when I troll you, you got an attitude, you got a problem. I wish you would hit the link, Ron. Come up here, bro. I want to talk to you. Come on, RJ, let's get it. This is gonna be your first and last chance, because we not blocking you, bro. You family, but you got to come up here and talk about it. And, you know, you got an issue. Yeah, I asked that question, bro. And I wanted to hear an answer from you, but you still ain't answer me. You just mad about it. Them 99 channels and shit. All right, back to business, y'all. And for the record, I want y'all to understand that. Y'all heard that? Ronald say knowledge is boring. He just said it. It's up there in the chat. Bro, don't do it to yourself. I swear to God. You troll the wrong dude.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. the one God, to whom all praise is due, the Lord of the worlds. We thank Allah over and over again for his prophets and the scriptures which they brought. But if I lived to be 1,000, I could never thank him enough for his appearance to us in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever, and raising up in our midst a divine leader, teacher, and guide to awaken us from 400 years of sleep in the death of ignorance, and to let us know that it is time for the original people of the earth to stand up and reclaim their high and noble place with God. I greet all of you, my dear brothers and sisters, with the greeting words of peace. Jesus said it in Aramaic, in Hebrew, and in Arabic. So if Jesus were here today to celebrate Easter with you, he would say in Aramaic, Assalamu alaikum, or in Arabic, Assalamu alaikum.
Now, that part is significant as well, because that's what I was talking about with the languages. And he also talked about the 3 basic languages that was going on around the time that this historical Jesus was on the scene. It was Arabic, Aramaic, and Hebrew, or Greek, / whatever you want to call it. But the thing is, from language to language, there's always going to be a lot lost in the translation. Salute, Draco. You got situations to where, like, if you come to my hometown, you don't know my culture, you don't know how we pour syrup. I remember one time when I was a kid, we had some relatives visit us from Mississippi, and they was so much country bumpkins, and I'm not making fun of them. It's just that it was things that they weren't accustomed to, but they didn't even know how to pour syrup out of an urn. I mean, I had to show them how to put my thumb on it and pull it back so you could pour the syrup. They were that behind the times as far as modern civilization, if you will. So with that said, like, you're always going to have some lost in the translation. So get past my man saying Allah, get past him saying all the other things, translate it into your Christianity or what you want, but deal with the fact of what this man is saying and who he's directing it to, and what part of it do you disagree and agree with. And with that said, you're going to have your own ideal and visual of why you disagree. You can't disagree just because somebody else disagrees, or somebody said some stuff to you like, I don't like that man, he be that, you know, because at the end of the day, until you sit down with a person, it's always going to be somebody out there that don't like the way his bow tie is shaped, you know. They don't like his hairline, you know. And that's what I mean with don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. If a man brings you a message and it's solid, you got to basically close your eyes and open your ears and listen to that directive and how to move, you know. And that's all I'm saying from this. So everyone, please, if you stand here, pay attention. We're not going to do too much trolling, but the link is out there. Anybody is more than welcome to hit it. You know, I'm up for discussion. You know, this ain't no one-sided thing here, but I'm just giving my opinion on when people say they like the message, but I don't agree with everything you're saying. I'm trying to be like, what? Huh? That's kind of counterproductive in essence, you know? Like, man, please, let's get it.
If he were here to celebrate Passover with you, he would say in Hebrew, Shalom Aleichem. But it means in English, peace be unto you. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very grateful to Mr. Eric Ellison and the campus organization called As One for their invitation to me. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Every time I'm invited, it seems as though it causes a stir. I don't quite understand. The poor students have to work so hard to bring a black man to their campus who can offer some direction to them.
Salute Tamika McCullough. Thanks for stopping through.
They charge the students monies that they charge no one else. And they refuse to allow student activity fees to pay for my modest honorarium. But persons who mean nothing, who can offer nothing, not only to black students, but to white students as well, can command from $25,000 to $40,000 of student activity fees, and no one says anything. Michigan State is a great university, one of the finest in this nation. But each year, the black football players, the black basketball players, the black athletes contribute so much to the coffers of this university. In one football game, black talent gives to this university millions. Yet a black person that means something to black students, whether I mean anything to white folk at all, is irrelevant. But if I mean something to my own people, the least you could do out of respect for what black people give to this institution is to back these students in what they want. You charge me with bigotry, you charge me with racism. But who is the racist and who is the bigot? Who uses power? We don't have the power. That's right. You have it and you use it in a wicked way to punish these students because they want to bring their brother to this campus. So they have to charge $8.50 while a $40,000 no good bum can come here and these doors are open to them freely. But the students make a profit.
Salute, Corey.
From me. Their organization will make a profit, hopefully, if you don't find some other scheme to take what other little money they have. This is a shame. Maybe we ought to tell all black students, let's get the hell out of white universities and build something of our own.
Now that part right there is important and significant because I've been since said with all this stuff going on with Kyrie and Kanye, if this dude here, bro, if we were to just boycott the whole sports situation, meaning like no black people not only played, but nobody participated in viewership as well, you would see these people instantly take another approach to how they're dealing with this. And I promise you, because this is the same thing that Dr. Martin Luther King was faced with when he was down in Memphis with the, I think it was the workers' strike with the trash people. And he started telling people not to buy certain milk and da-da-da, and it worked. So with that said, a lot of times people just don't have the wherewithal and the patience to deal with a situation like this, like it needs to be dealt with, because at the end of the day, this is all about dollars. This is money, and this is what he's talking about. The students have to charge a fee, a ticket fee, because he's got an honorarium to come there and speak, as other speakers have an honorarium as well. The difference is the college pays the other honorariums, but now the students have to come up with their own way to fund this honorarium. And these are Black students that are part of Michigan State. And that's what he's a little bit aggravated with right now. But he's going to get to the point and bring it home. Sorry.
Let me make it very clear. They have a lot to offer. You know, they ought to give it to us free. After we brought you out of the caves of Europe and educated you, you ought to give us this free. You're just ungrateful. We build your country for you. Over 300 years of forced enslavement, we got no pay. You got rich off of our backs, and we got to pay you for half but education. And you're not educated in a way that you have marketable skills. Leave here with a degree in Black Studies. Who's paying for that? A degree in phys ed. You always had a strong back. You know that's what they brought us here for. It's sad that we even have to speak like this on a campus of highly intelligent persons, so-called. But I thank all of you for coming out. Each and every one of you, thank you for paying the fee that they had to charge in order to make their ends meet. Thank you for your attendance. Thank you for your patience. Waiting in long lines. We could have had you in here in a short time, but they didn't want us to do the searching. It's all right. We thank the security for the job that they did. But we could have done it better. We're much more experienced at it. We don't have an event where we don't search. And we've been doing it now for 60 years, and we're experienced at it. But of course, you know, black hands. Don't touch me with your black hands.
Let me say this, that search process is very significant to another subject matter we're going to get into, because at the end of the day, this is the very thing that allowed Malcolm X to be assassinated. Malcolm came from a situation to where he understood the search procedure, and he knew that everybody had to be searched, because not only did it protect the principal speaker and the people involved inside, it protected you as well. We were in there trying to make sure all that we were gonna intake was knowledge, not bullets, not knives, or anything like that. So everybody had to be searching. It's been like that since the start of the Nation of Islam. So when Malcolm detracted for that spell and he went into the Audubon ballroom, he specifically told his people, don't search the people because it was making them feel uncomfortable. Well, I'm going to just say it like this. To hell with your uncomfort if it has to do with my safety. You see, at the end of the day, this is the very thing and principle that Malcolm went back on that allowed that situation to happen where he could very well be assassinated. If we had followed the protocols of the Nation of Islam, you wouldn't have seen no sawed-off shotguns up in that meeting. I promise you. But Malcolm said, no, don't search it. So let's continue.
One of these days, you will understand that the greatest blessing in your midst are the very people that you have no respect for. And before this is done, this black people in your midst could prove to be the greatest cursing. Because depending upon how you handle them today will be the judgment of this nation. We have been faithful slaves.
Facts, has Kiro. Facts. And that's the way they were allowed.
Loyal servants.
No searches.
We work hard for little or no pay. We fought in all your wars for freedom that we have yet to enjoy. We make America great in the world with our art and our skill and our talent. Our brilliance is hidden away in corporate America. Our own young people cannot see their own giants, intellectual giants, scientific giants, the people that have made a contribution to making this nation what it is. Our scientists, our scholars, our inventors are hidden from our own people, that we can only look at sports figures and entertainers so that we may think that the only thing that is valuable is if we can jump higher than white folk or fight longer or run a ball faster. This is silly. But that's not what I came here to talk about. I didn't come here to get into any controversy. And I really didn't come here to take up my time speaking on black-Jewish relationships. That's a waste of my time. And I don't come here necessarily to defend myself against the charges of anti-Semitism. My people know better. So you are blowing in the wind. And soon your own people will know. We have your history. We know you pretty well. And I think you are angry at us because we know the truth. And we are unafraid to speak it. I think that's why you're a little angry. I think that you're angry with Farrakhan because you can't buy him. You're angry with Farrakhan because you can't control my speech. You're angry with me because you have nothing to offer me that I desire more than the liberation of 30 to 40 million of us, and really even your own liberation from the ignorance that clouds your mind into thinking that you may be better simply because you're white. We're going to change all of that with the help of Almighty God. I want to talk today
about the condition of black people and solutions to problems.
Incidentally, that's the title of this video. The terrible condition of black people, solution to the problem. And that's what I was first saying when I talked about the difference between Orthodox Islam versus the Nation of Islam. There were certain things that had to be employed in the teachings in order to reverse the process of what had happened to us through the process of slavery, meaning we were actually turned into something other than ourselves. So the only way that that process can be reversed is the rhetoric had to be as such to make you denounce this situation and then group of individuals that's been meaning you no good for so long. Because I can remember the pictures of Kennedy in homes when I was a baby boy. And I can remember the pictures of white Jesus up on the wall. I can remember the Jewish insurance man coming to our house trying to sell my mama insurance, and we barely had enough for food. So the thing is, when you look at this whole situation, the minister is trying to put into perspective the teachings and who really is the anti-Semite. See, these people are real quick to come, and I'm going to say these people, I mean the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, this Jewish set of rabbis that always come out and try to throw this banner of sympathy garnering through the Holocaust. And what the minister is about to point out is that the Holocaust that we was faced with was way more intricate, damaging, and significant in terms to the biblical history. So I'm gonna let them get back into it. However, I'm not gonna do this whole video because it's like 3 hours long, but I will post the link in my community wall so y'all can go watch the whole video. Appreciate everybody that slid through.
As black people, we are in a terrible condition as we face the 21st century. Some writers are saying that by the year 2000, 70% of us will be dead. Or
I'm not going to keep stopping it, but I want y'all to pay particular attention to this part because he's telling you what the government had planned for us and what they started. He's going to talk about the Kerner Commission and things like that, but this is real significant because everything that this man is saying right now is documented and can be went and looked up in the, the Congress, the Library of Congress, Washington, D.C. These are facts that these people have put out after 50 years or so. And now they have to, every 50 years or something, I forget how it's broken down, but every 50 years or so, the United States government has to release secret files that were locked in a vault for whatever reason. But he's going to talk about what the Kerner Commission discussed in reference to us as black people versus white people and the two separate Americas. So pay close attention.
so incapacitated that we will have no meaning for this society. Some are saying that at the rate that we are going with the death, the disease, the destruction of self due to fratricidal conflict, drug wars, that we are in fact right now a destroyed people who have become totally useless to this society. We are in a dangerous position because the American people
of you do together.
Tried for this crime.
Damn. I messed that up because I was trying to say salute the Queen's truth. I heard you, Sweetness, when you told everybody to come over to the live. However, I had just got home and we now some 30 minutes into this video, but it was a part that was significant that I was trying to get to when he was talking about the Kerner Commission. And I'm trying to get back to that particular spot, but thanks. No, you good. You always good over here.
Get into any controversy.
Okay. Step in. Love, 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 love.
I really didn't come here to take up my time speaking on black-Jewish relationships. That's a waste of my time. And I don't come here necessarily to defend myself against the charges of anti-Semitism. My people know better. So you are blowing in the wind. And soon your own people will know. We have your history. We know you pretty well. And I think you are angry at us because we know the truth. And we are unafraid to speak it. I think that's why you're a little angry. I think that you're angry with Farrakhan because you can't buy him. You're angry with Farrakhan because you can't control my speech. You're angry with me because you have nothing to offer me that I desire more than the liberation of 30 to 40 million of us, and really even your own liberation from the ignorance that clouds your mind into thinking that you may be better simply because you're white. We're going to change all of that with the help of Almighty God. I want to talk today about the condition of black people and solutions to problems. Tried for this crime against humanity. It's not even considered a crime against humanity. It's considered expediency. It's considered the right of choice. It's considered okay for you to have control of your bodies, my dear sisters and women, destroying the future and the promise of greatness coming through your wombs. All because you fear some privation or deprivation or loss of some opportunity, so you murder the fruit of the womb. And it is all right in this society. Where's the moral correctness in America? A den of thieves. It's all right for white-collar thieves, computer thieves, to rob the country of and corporations and banks of hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, but the headlines go to the little black brother who snatches a pocketbook or is selling some crack cocaine to his own brother. So we are made to look like the real criminal people of America, while the real criminals who run the government rob nations of their destiny, rob nations of their leadership, turn over government after government if they don't like it, murder tens of hundreds of thousands of human beings
to get their way so that you can maintain this false, illusory status. Never in the history since 2,000 years ago has a head of state been kidnapped after his own people are bombed and shot into submission and brought to America in chains to be tried. And Mr. Bush said justice was done. Suppose the people that grieve over what happened when he was on the watch in the CIA had the wherewithal to come to America and kidnap your crooked presidents and bring them to a foreign government and try them for the murder of innocent people. But you don't have to worry about that, because nobody is powerful enough to do to you what you delight in doing to others. But I'm here to tell you that there's a God on scene today who has your number, and your writing is on the wall in blood. Your kingdom has been weighed in the balance, and it has been found wanting. You can't stop the God today who is present. You can put a bullet in Farrakhan if God allows it. You can kill our leaders if God allows it. But the God is present today. And death is inside America today. It's not at the door. It has crossed the threshold. Just a little leak in Chicago that went unattended. Just a little leak. And the loop closes down.
I'm sorry, I heard somebody ask when was this broadcasted. This is I think somewhere like mid-90s, closer to the early 90s. I'll get the specific date for you, but yeah, it's an older video. The thing is, you know, like, I come up through the ranks, so I understand what all this stuff is and what he's saying. So my only thing is, I just want to put in perspective, like when people say things like, that's right, but I don't agree with everything he's saying. Okay, so what part don't you agree with, and what are you saying? So let's continue. Thanks for everybody that stopped by the way.
Millions of gallons of water under your fine structures. They say the cost is about $1 billion now in loss and going up because water doesn't play. You have respect for your mighty buildings, but water erodes the foundation. And the longer it stays, the more chance there is for death and disease as a result of it. Just a leak. God can close you down in the twinkling of an eye. And he's present, alive, and working his will. Be careful how you handle these black people, because they have become the people of God. He promised in the scriptures he would choose the foolish, the despised, the rejected, the unwanted.
Listen.
And he would be their God, and they would be his people. And he would manifest his wisdom and his power through a people that were no people at all. The Jews should be most wise because they have the record. They have the prophets, and they know the prophecy. So here we are in your midst, as Israel was in the midst of the Egyptians under Pharaoh. Here we are in your midst for 400 years, mistreated. Here we are in your midst. You have always known that a deliverer was coming out from among this people. You know this. Therefore, you watch our children like a hawk watches a chicken to see if you can discern which one or ones of us might be the deliverer. But just as Moses was hidden, so was the deliverer for us hidden. He's not to come from a distant shore. He's to come right from among us. They know this. That's why J. Edgar Hoover was busy trying to stop the rise of a black Messiah. Why would J. Edgar Hoover use so much money of the taxpayers to see if they could stop the rise of a black Messiah? Who told Hoover that blacks would be looking for and expecting or would get a black Messiah? Do blacks need somebody like that? You do too, white folks. Well, you're in bad shape today. You have an education that will not allow you to solve the critical problems of our time. And so tonight, if you will pay a little attention to this child of slaves that does not have your degrees. I didn't graduate from one of these fine universities. But that doesn't mean I'm not learned. You're not the only one that gives out learning. God is the first teacher and the best teacher. And now, problems and solutions. There has to be a solution to the problem of the unwanted presence of between 30 and 40 million black people. What is the solution? If you've become useless, not only to this society, but useless to yourselves, what has America planned for you? She calls us the permanent underclass. Just listen to the words, permanent. You know what permanent means. It means that as long as you're here, you will always be the underclass. Does that state the will of the government? There's an old saying, where there's a will, there's a way. Jesus said, seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened. Ask, and it shall be given. But the government is not seeking. The government is not asking. The government is not knocking. So the government declares this is a permanent underclass. In 1968, after Martin Luther King was assassinated.
Okay, and I'm sorry. We back at that point where we're going to talk about the Kerner Commission, but I wanted to just pause for a brief second and see, did you want to weigh in, Chicky? Did you have anything you wanted to say?
No, I'm good.
You good? Okay, so we're going to continue with it, but now he's finna get into the Kerner Commission and all of the reasons that we were going to be a permanent underclass. And for anybody in the chat, and I'm really not trying to be condescending, but for anybody that doesn't understand what permanent underclass means, permanent means forever, constant. Underclass meaning you will constantly be lower as far as society goes. So this is how they branded us as a people. And this was back in the 60s. And this Kerner Commission is going to come up with a scientific study and analysis and analogy of this. And they're going to give the prognosis or whatever to Congress and the United States government. But let's continue.
not because he had a dream, but because Dr. King discovered reality and began to deal with the hypocrisy of government. Our brother was assassinated and 100 cities were set on fire or more. Now in every major city, there's a Martin Luther King Drive or Boulevard. That's nice. The enemy kills you, then names an alley after you, and you are supposed to be happy over that. The only honor you can give Dr. King is to work to make a just society. That's the honor that commemorates that man's life. Not a plaque or something on a drive somewhere. We shouldn't be moved by things like that. After the riots, rebellions better, Lyndon Johnson impaneled a blue ribbon commission. It was called the Kerner Commission. And they studied the condition of blacks in the cities of America. And they made their recommendations to the president. Certainly, the Kerner Commission was weeks and months of hard work, and we can't begin to break all of that down in a minute. But in the overview of their work, they said there were two Americas, separate and unequal, one black, one white. This is 1968.
I love
they
you.
recommended to the president that at that time in 1968, 12 million blacks were in the inner cities of America. And if America really wanted to do something to change this reality, the government would have to develop the will to tax the American people. And monies would have to be allocated to mainstream black people. Otherwise, by 1985, there would be 22 million black people in the inner cities, and then they said it would be impossible to integrate black people. This is the Kerner Commission. Mr. Lyndon Johnson got that report. I think it was Johnson. And the war in Vietnam was raging. And when that war was over and the American soldiers ran out, over $1 billion in war material and cash was left behind, making the North Vietnamese the fourth most well-equipped army in the world.
Listen.
All the money that was supposed to be earmarked for us to mainstream black people and sort of do something to even the playing field for us to run on. That money was squandered in the war in Vietnam. And that's what prompted Martin Luther King Jr. to stand up against the war, because the war was robbing the treasury of money that was necessary for the poor in America and for the blacks in America. Well, Martin is gone. The war was lost. Billions of the taxpayers' dollars went down the drain. And after the war,
The Vietnamese veterans came back to an America that did nothing for them, disrespected them. All they did was obey the command of a commanding officer. Go, democracy is in trouble. When in reality, it was big business to have a war. In reality, Lyndon Johnson fabricated an incident in the Tonkin Gulf to widen the war, and therefore 500,000 American soldiers, black, brown, yellow, and white, and red, went to Vietnam. 35% of the casualties were us. And our little brothers came home twisted with drugs. They had never fought a war like this. They never understood people with cities up under the ground. They're used to bombing and shooting. They're not used to people being under the ground waiting for you to walk by, booby trap you.
Yeah.
This was an altogether different kind of war. And it maimed
What's
and
up?
mangled the minds of those who were in that war.
I'm doing something right now.
The
Hold on.
government that they fought for abandoned them. And only when it was politically expedient
Sorry, y'all.
did they set up some Vietnam War Memorial and have some kind of parade for the Vietnam veterans. That's politics. That's not justice. That's not a grateful nation saying thank you to the youth who don't know anything about politics, but go to fight for wicked people who manufacture enemies for you. America is not threatened, but big business is threatened. And the poor have to die to keep the rich rich and in power. Well, after 20 years, the Kerner Commission revisited the cities to study the problem again. And 20 years later, in 1988, they went back and studied the problem. They said there are still two Americas, one black, one white. One rich, one poor, or one well off, one not doing well at all. But the problem was, at that time, there were now 26 million black people in the inner cities of America. Now, if the prophecy or the prognostication or prognosis of these members of the Kerner Commission is correct, that when we reach 20-some million in the inner cities, it would be impossible to integrate us, and we are now 26 million in the inner cities, then integration is finished. Today, there's more segregation than there was when Martin Luther King was alive. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said integration was an hypocritical trick to make you think that your 400-year-old enemy had all of a sudden become your friend. And now they want you close to them. Close to them for what? Busing your children all over the city so you could achieve racial balance in schools. But what are the schools like now? We've gone backwards. Under segregation, Jim Crow, we had black banks, black transportation companies, black insurance companies, black hotels, black motels, black gas stations. We had to depend on ourselves in the South. That's right. The Jewish people who may be in this audience or listening or who will listen, you helped found all black organizations. You were in the founding of the NAACP, the founding of the Urban League. But notice, in the founding, when you wrote up the direction of these organizations, you made it clear that no black organization was to deal with the economic problem of black people. They were to deal with the social problem and breaking down barriers of racial intolerance and injustice. So, in effect, your black bodies were used. Listen to me. You marched. Certainly, there were Jews and whites who marched with us. They had a right to march with us because they were going to be the biggest beneficiaries of your suffering. Let's talk about it. If I'm lying, then stop me. I'm not going to tell any lies. You just be angry with me because I tell the truth. Our brothers and sisters, hungering to break down Jim Crow. I lived under that, brothers and sisters. I know what it's like to have a white and black drinking fountain. I know what it's like to go into a court of so-called justice, to use the bathroom, and have to go into a sub-basement and watch while black women are in a toilet with no doors on it. And women had to stand around to block the toilet from the view of a man who was in there urinating. In the South. I went south to experience this so I would know what my Southern brothers and sisters had lived under all the days of their lives. So naturally, we were interested in breaking down those unjust barriers. So we marched in numbers. Whites marched with us in very few numbers, but some of them did march. We carried our signs, and they carried them too. We were all allies, weren't we? Weren't we? Yes, of course we were. Of course we were. But well, when Bull Connor and the boys went to beating heads, you don't see them white ones. I'm sure some of them got a hickey or two, a lump or two. Some of them went to jail. But when you see the history and you see the fire hoses, they're not trained on white people. They're trained on black people. Yes, Goodman and Schwerner and Cheney died. Hell, more people died to put a bridge across an expanse of water than white folk died to see black folk free. So don't talk to us about how you died. We dying by the tens of thousands to keep you free. You point to one or two white people and we're supposed to just foam at the mouth? See, brothers and sisters, the very thought of throwing Schwerner and Goodman and Viola Liuzzo to us as the martyrs who died for us is a racist kind of statement, because it says that those three white lives are more valuable than all the black lives that were lost to make the games. The murder of Medgar Evers, the murder and the bombing of our babies in a church in Montgomery, Alabama, the murder of Viola Liuzzo and Goodman and Schwerner and Cheney, all were part of the politics that allowed Congress in their magnanimity to give us a public accommodations bill and then a voting rights bill. Man. Martin Luther King sitting with them. And at the same time, he's sitting with them, planning the future of a just America. They are plotting his death across the street in the FBI office. They're bugging him, bugging his hotels, his motels, his office, his home, plotting his every step. Yeah. And so we got that public accommodations bill, and certainly we're grateful. Because at least now we can go to toilet on a highway in Mississippi, and we can sleep now in your fine hotels. We don't own anything now. But we can now spend our money in your restaurants, but we have to be careful. In the meantime, everything that we built in segregation, go in the South and see the devastation. It's gone because once we were allowed to go into white establishments, we stopped trading with our own people. Ask Jewish people, will you ever stop trading with your own people? Ask the Koreans, will you stop trading with your own people? Ask the Palestinians, will you stop trading with your people? That's how they get strong in America. They keep as much money revolving in their circle, but not us. Not us. And so, my brothers and sisters, after the Public Accommodations Bill was passed and the Voting Rights Bill was passed, we were not in a position to take advantage of it. But Jews were, lesbians were, gays were, women were. So on the back of black people, Jews got more political power, were able to move in areas where they were not able to move before. Gays got power. Lesbians got power, women got power, moved up, and you went backward. Today, you are worse off than you were 20 years ago. Not only in terms of economics, but in terms of moral correctness, our community has gone down, down, down. Is that right? 25 years or so after Martin Luther King, 25 years after the Kerner Commission, jobs leaving the inner cities, no new factories opening up in the inner cities because it is now a social law almost that if you want to make money, don't open up any business in the inner cities or in the cities of America. So the businesses are leaving the cities, which leaves you as a servant out of a servant's job. The jobs that you should have had or could have had as a servant are taken now by others. Foreigners coming in. So the black male is unemployed, underemployed, and unemployable. The black female now has a job because if they got to hire a quote-unquote minority, they'll hire a black woman over a black man because now they got the black and the female in one. So she's downtown. You have no job. So the black male is unemployed, underemployed, and unemployable. The black female now has a job because if they got to hire a quote-unquote minority, they'll hire a black woman over a black man because now they got the black and the female in one. So she's downtown. You have no job. Having no job and no education has not diminished the sex drive. The society has gone sex crazy. I'm gonna sex you up. You can't turn on the television. You can't turn on the radio. You can't look at a newspaper, magazine without your sex drive being fed or titillated. The garments that men wear, the garments that women wear are all designed to make men lust after women and women lust after men. So we're making more babies, but less ability to provide and care for what we produce. Listen, as you make babies and you have no job, in that state of impotence, you don't stay around to look at your inability.
I want to pause this just for a second to show y'all how you look at behavior. Okay, now, did you see where when he said and hit a point, there was going to be a thunderous round of applause, and he said, no, listen. See, this is a man that's not vain. He's not coming from a point of view where he wants you to take what he's saying on face value. He always says, go research, go study, go do the math. And that's where the saying comes from. Islam is mathematics and mathematics is Islam, because it can be proved in no point of time. At any point in time. I'm sorry, forgive me. Oh my God. Where we at, bro? This damn thing. 1 second, I'm back.
And so we got that public accommodations bill, and then why don't you condemn yourself? Because most of you are without your sex drive being fed or titillated. The garments that men wear, the garments that women wear are all designed to make men lust after women and women lust after men. So we're making more babies, but less ability to provide and care for what we produce. Listen, as you make babies and you have no job, in that state of impotence, you don't stay around to look at your inability. So the woman is in the house now. Over 70% of black homes are headed by a female. A male was there because babies are there. But there is no man in the house to take up the responsible role. We don't seem to realize what is happening to this nation. When I was in school many years ago, I graduated from high school speaking or knowing something of 4 different languages. I had Spanish, French, German, Latin, and English. I graduated from grammar school, knowing every country on the earth, its capitals, and what those countries produce. I had American history, world history, medieval history, ancient history. I had algebra 1 and 2, plane geometry, solid geometry, calculus, trigonometry. Before I left high school. So when I got to college, I never bought a book because I knew most of what was there before it came down. I'm telling you the truth. I had a good education in the Boston public school system. Nobody in my class, we were all poor blacks, but nobody in my class graduated not knowing how to read. What happened? That America is graduating hundreds of thousands of functional illiterates each and every year. What has happened to the educational system? What has happened to a nation that used to be #1 in education and is now around 25th or 26th in education? Science and mathematics, the 2 basic disciplines that all civilization is built upon. America is 17th and 20th in the world. Japan, #1. #1 in mathematics, #1 in science, #1 in banking, #1 in organization in their society. And look at America, a great nation, going down, 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 and all you can produce is a new song, a new dance. Young people, white and black, with your heads high. Sex on your mind all day, all night. Drugs everywhere. Mr. Bush said, I didn't know Noriega. I've never had any personal meeting with him. And then a picture shows up with him and Noriega sitting on a couch together. If Noriega was a drug runner, he was running for Bush.
Okay, family, I'm going to stop the video right there. Like I said, I'm going to give you the link to the whole video. However, this is real significant, and I want y'all to pay careful attention to the title and the description, because everything I heard right here and everybody that's in here right now, I'm sure, can agree with every single word that this man said. And I'm not talking about agreeing with his bow tie structure, his hairline, nothing other than the facts at hand. Like, what are we going to do as a people? Like, this is one of the reasons why I recanted and came back to myself. And forgive me for being out of my body a couple of weeks ago and prior, when I was dealing with situations that was unbecoming of me. However, back to my true nature, I'm all about elevation. And when I look at us as a people, I really love us. And this is a person that I identify with and I know personally, and I know he loves us. As a matter of fact, I set security for him once in 1990 in Atlanta, Georgia. Yep, I was a very young Muslim. But I was ready to give my life because I understood the situation and I knew and felt the whole vibration of who this guy was and what he meant to us. And anybody that's heard me on previous panels can tell, you already know I ain't no bozo for real, no clown. Like, I get into the shenanigans every now and then, but when you hear me articulate, you already know you're talking to an individual that's not only well versed, but I'm well read. So don't listen to my tongue and phonetics about me sounding a little gangster, ghetto, whatever. I study. So at the end of the day, a person that doesn't study, they're not going to be equipped to deal with a person like me. And I might be a tad bit boring to them because they can't get on that metaphysical level. However, what we're doing right here in this live is we're trying to situate a situation to where, like, if somebody brings to you the truth, don't deal with what you think about them personally. Deal with the truth. And deal with the facts of what they're saying versus the BS in what they're saying and how it affects us as a culture and the people. Because we got to get rid of this crabs in a bucket mentality. And we got to get away from this all about who you like mentality. If somebody brings the truth to me and they like a baby, and I look at it and I'm like, damn, I'm sorry, but yeah, that's right. And that's how you're going to have to look at this whole situation. You can't be looking at it subjectively or objectively. I'm thinking you're going to have to look at it intellectually. You know, everything results to mathematics when we finish. The lives that SIS have been doing have been instrumental just because they're dealing with the science of nature. And this is basically what this is all about. This man is a scientist. The one you just got through listening to, Minister Farrakhan, is a scientist. His teacher was a scientist. The one that came to get his teacher was a scientist. And we'll get into those names, but I want you to know this was a scientific experiment to extract a people up out of a people that had been changed and taken away from their original nature. And the only way that that process could be reversed is there had to be drastic measures. There has to be what you call extreme rhetoric and measures. However you look at it, everything that was done needed to be done. And prior to this, we were lost. You know, I can go back to the actual date. You know, Noble Drew Ali, Marcus Garvey, all the greats. These men pay homage to those guys because they were instrumental in trying to take us up out of a society and a situation that meant us no good. And we didn't see that because we had been branded and bred to believe that these people were our saviors. And until people can stop looking at another man as their savior, as opposed to looking to God, that's the only way you're going to come up out of this situation. To see the understanding of God, I think is what it all starts with, because some people got different ideologies, and I get that. And I'm not going to go into that because I don't want to get into no religious debate, because I was taught from the NOI perspective, Islam is not a religion, it's a way of life, meaning we live this. And if you really believe and live how you believe, then that's principle. You know, that's a principled lifestyle. Nobody can spit on that. You can do what you want to do, say what you want to do, but if I'm moving how I'm saying, deal with that, bro. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know, don't be talking about, I don't agree with everything. What don't you agree with, bro? Talk to me, because, see, I'm here for debate. And I'm letting you know right now, you're not dealing with no shorty. So whenever you start saying things to get clicks and views and doing things, when you talk about people that I'm personally related to, and involved with, I gotta say something. And like I said, this is no slash to King. I really wished he would have hit the panel and came so I could have clarified my position, because I like the fact that he had the minister and pumping the message forward, but don't be giving negative ad libs in the background like I don't believe in everything he said, because what are you saying? That's counterproductive. And I'm going to leave that at that. Everybody that slid through, I appreciate that. Thank you, Chicky. You was here for the whole situation, Chicky, but did you want to weigh in, chime in, say anything before we, get off here? Because we're going to take it out in a minute. I got to go do some things.
Well, basically, to me, everything he was saying is still true today.
Facts. I agree with you.
And what are we going to do about it? That's the problem.
That's the whole point, Chicky. You're absolutely right, because that's what I was saying with the title. Like, we can either keep talking about I don't like or I don't agree with everything he's saying, but deal with what he's saying and move out on that directive. Like, hey, we got babies out here in the street dying because they shooting and killing up each other. And
right.
We can't save them because we so confused with who we want to listen to and who we want to like. The whole thing is, when the truth comes to you, you can't be looking at the vessel or the vehicle.
But everybody doesn't want the truth. Like with my channel. You would not believe the people that call me liar. The stuff I put is not true. And I tell them, well, then show me the truth.
Exactly. And
What's the truth?
I've seen your channel, not to cut you off, but I've been coming recently and looking, and you already know where I'm at with it, Chicky. I mean, you already know I'm well versed, like I said, and I'm well read. So everything that you are putting up on your channel, I'm in agreement with it. It's the thing that it just has to be interpreted, because people can't always see through the pictorials and the literature. That's why I was trying to get up here and do some type of commentary to where we actually explain, our position. But I got a video that I'm going to get you and send you, because I always tell people this, like, a lot of us came over here through the slavery passage through Africa, but also there was a lot of us that came through another portal. And that's what people don't know as Black people. And we studied it in school. They used to call them indentured servants. You ever heard of that? But a lot of those were Black people that came from Ireland, England, and Brittany and things of that nature. And I got that video. So even I'll go back to they say King James was the Black man.
Yeah.
So the one that actually translated the Bible out of Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek was a Black man. And this is something that a lot of us don't know. But I got the actual history. I got the facts, you know what I'm saying? I got the documents.
But everybody doesn't want the facts. That's the whole problem. You could put it out there, show it to them, and they'll, oh, no, that's not what it is. Well, then what is it? Show me what it is then. If what I'm putting is wrong, then show me what's right. But they won't do that. They'll just complain. Well, then don't come to my channel anymore.
Exactly. But your energy, bless up though, but your energy is going to have to be as such. And I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just saying, you have, you look, you're going to have to salute, Eve. You're going to have to push forward and do you, because I see your page and I understand where you look, Queen. Let me tell you, don't you ever let them discourage you.
They won't. Don't worry, they won't.
I've been seeing you since the onset, and you know why we click-clack and why this is the first actual live that I'm doing with somebody other than anybody else, and me and you, was because, see, when you vibe on a kinetic level and on a metaphysical level, that's something that ain't really got to be talked about. I watched a couple of your videos, but before that, I was watching you in the chat, and the type of things that you were, typing in the chat. And a lot of times, if you really look at the chat and can read and comprehend, you can ascertain, from whence a person comes. And that's what I did. I was like, okay, Chicky on point. Like.
Yes, I'm brutally honest. And some people can't take that. Well, I'm sorry.
No, but I don't mind the brutal honesty. I like the education and the intellect. Right. Because when you teach a man, you teach an individual. When you teach a woman, you teach a nation.
Right.
And see, you got that nation teaching in you. That's why I really wish a lot more of these women would try to, identify with you and get on your page, because they can tap into the source of from whence they come. And all of these are gods, goddesses. I'm looking at y'all. Look, Letitia, I'm looking at y'all. Miss Eve, I'm looking at y'all. Corey, I'm looking at y'all. Queens, Truth, I'm looking at y'all. And the thing is, I wanted to get back in my real body. Like, y'all seen me prior. Forgive me for that, dude. That's not the real me. This is who I am and who I really want to present to the people, because I love us. And all of the shenanigans that we was faced with, dealing with the 7-foot dude, let's get past that and get back to some real elevation and some real elevated thoughts. We can move this forward, Chicky, if we stay focused and stay pushing, like how I didn't let Ronald come in here and troll us.
Right.
See what I'm saying? That's the only thing. We got to stay focused. And Ronald didn't mean no harm. Don't get me wrong. I love RJ. He people. But
he's just a troll.
I get it. No, he on point. But there's a time and place for everything. And he knew that this wasn't for him. Like I said, it was too positive, so he up.
Right. That's Ronald.
And I mess with, and I'm glad he ain't come from one of them 99 pages and do that thing. Like, look, Ronald, come on, bro, this me, I know game, I get game. Why would you have 99 pages if one of them pages ain't do some damage? You see? So, but yeah, at the end of the day, thank you for sliding through. Everybody,
you're welcome.
Salute Corey, I see you. Letitia's, Tamika McCullough, Miss Eve. I seen as Mike came through. Uncle L. Everybody out there, just keep watching me, because see, here's the thing. This is the person that I want to present to y'all, and really, 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 I want you to understand this. With me, it ain't about no cash out. I promise you, I would be more inclined to get us into a pool to where we all invested in the pool to try to buy something that will make a benefit for all of us. Because I'm good. I'm doing my thing. God is great. And as a result of my teachings and my teacher, I'm independent. I'm outside of that norm. Like, I don't conform to them societies. I got an LLC. I got my own business, to the point to where can't nobody say nothing to me and make me apologize. You hear me?
Right.
I'm standing on what I believe, and what I say is what I meant. And that's in any situation. I try to make that. Now, I might have to apologize every now and then for being out of my body or mistaking the situation, but that's the manhood in me too. But at the end of the day, I say what I mean and mean what I say. Like, that's the only way that I can present this to y'all. And then the fact that I brought this video to y'all was to further get you involved with me and let you know who I am. Like, this is who I really, really am. Like, I'm about whatever this man says and how he moves, because I have heard no inconsistencies in what he said when it comes to us. He loves us. So don't be telling me you like some of the things he's saying, but you don't. Man, I don't want to hear that.
So what do we do with those that don't love us? Because all of us are not going to always agree. You always going to have some, nah, we ain't listening to that.
I'm going to tell you like the book said. Jesus told his disciples, he said, if you walk into a town and they don't accept the teaching you give them, wipe the dust off your feet and keep it moving. Period. Go read it. It's there. It's all there. And if this is what these people terminology is and where they say they coming from that Christianity point of view, that's Jesus talk. I also heard these Christians out here talking about I love everybody. No, Jesus didn't say that.
No, he didn't.
Jesus said no man can have two masters. He must love one and do what to the other one? Thank you. So cut the BS out with people that know how to comprehend. Reading is comprehension. And if you can understand what you read and you're still in denial, I can't do nothing with you. I'm going to have to wipe the dust off my feet and keep it moving. Because we got so many others out here that are worthy of redemption. You get it?
Yes.
Can't be wasting your time on people that don't get it and ain't trying to get it, you know? Salute, Mike. I see you, family. I appreciate that sub. Hey, Mike, whenever you feel like it, I've been watching your videos. Hit the panel too, bro. We can talk. You know, this me. You seen where I'm at, real. This the real me. Matter of fact, no more, none of that shenanigans and going at people that I think ain't on the level of what we need to be. And this is why I think we need to be as far as some elevated states and elevated thoughts and getting us back to proper productive type of people. You know, anybody on here, even if it's YouTube and you want to make some money out of this situation, I think positive motivation and thoughts will pump your channel much better than all the negativity.
Right. I try to stay away from that on my channel.
Yeah, you do. No, your channel's solid. I seen that Bantu video too, girl.
I got another one coming too.
Oh my God, why you do me like that?
I'm so sorry.
I see my future wife. I'm ready to get married again for that video. I'm like, what her at? Oh my God. Yeah. But look, it's been real wonderful though. I'm appreciating you coming up on the panel.
Thanks for having me. Anytime.
No, we did our thing. You know, we click clack. Me and you, we gonna connect other times other than this. You just gotta learn how to navigate this a little better. But I know you ain't on this internet stuff for real. You just about pumping your content. But look, you gotta come up live and do it a little bit more because your perspective is needed. And then from looking at your videos, I already know where your mindset is. See, so
right. Well, then you're gonna have to help me. I don't know anything about that.
Well,
I just know how to talk my shit in the chat.
you got my Instagram handle, so whatever you just DM me. Let me know, because I mean, from the edits to the software to get whatever you need, just let me know.
Okay, will do.
All right.
Thanks, Trey.
No problem. Salute to all y'all that came through. I love y'all, family. And this is from the bottom of my heart. I don't know you personally, but if you are involved with me and if you understand my ideology and where I'm coming from, I love you. Ain't got nothing to do with no freaky shit. Ain't got nothing to do with no ulterior motives. Peace, salute y'all. I'm going to end this live now. We're going to do it again real soon.
Thanks, Trey.
You're welcome, baby.